everybody, it's LaRonda and I am back with another video. And in this dating game, they say, oh, you should meet somebody at church, or you should meet somebody at school, or you should meet somebody at the grocery store. That's one I've heard a lot. But today I want to share with you the creepy side of meeting somebody at the grocery store. It sounds romantic and cute and everything until you actually get in the situation. So let me tell you what happened to me. Now, as you know, in this day and age, you cannot get into any store without a mask on. So the other day I went to the grocery store. I've got one of those masks that covers me from here all the way down to my chest. It covers all of that. And only thing that you can see really is from this part of my nose up to the rest of my head. So I'm in the grocery store, I'm in the produce section, of course, the cliched produce section, and I'm looking through the salads and stuff, and I see this guy kind of keep looking at me or checking me out or whatever. And at first I didn't think he was actually checking me out. I kind of was just maybe he needed to get around me or was waiting for me to move out of the way of the salads or whatever. But as I got my stuff, I noticed that he was kind of lingering and just kind of there or whatever. And so I looked over, and acknowledged the guy's presence. Maybe I smiled, I don't remember, but with the mask on, he probably, but I guess you can see with the eyes, that somebody's smiling. So anyway, I smiled at the guy just to be friendly. I mean, I didn't know what he looked like or whatever. Anyway, left that section, moved on to the next section, looked around, this man is right behind me again. And this time he starts talking, kind of mumbling something a little soft. I couldn't hear what he was really saying or tell. I had no idea what he was saying, but that's when I kind of knew that he was kind of, trying to talk to me or whatever. And I guess he was trying to do it soft, just in case I was one of those loud women that, what you doing talking to me? Why are you trying, so he didn't want to, I guess, be embarrassed. So he just kind of came up kind of soft behind me and was saying whatever he was saying. And I think I kind of just smiled, but kept it moving. So I go on ahead. Next thing you know, I'm over in the milk section. And next thing you know, he needs milk too. So he's right over there getting his milk while I'm over there checking out the eggs and the milk in the same section. And this is when he started getting a little bit louder and talking to me at a regular conversational tone that I could understand and hear. And he was like, oh, you fascinate me and blah, 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 asking me where am I from and this and that and the third. And that's all fine, I engaged him in the conversation or whatever as much as I could, but then I kind of needed to get on, so that conversation sort of ended and I needed to get on to the next thing. And so I moved over to the frozen food aisle. So I'm over in the frozen food aisle, and at that point I needed to call my son to see if he wanted a certain food. So I called him up, and next thing I know, up comes the man again behind me, talking about, trying to talk again. And I'm like, hold on, because I'm on the phone, I'm on the phone. So he stops and goes on about his business, and I continue on, making my phone call, getting what I need to get out of that aisle, and then I head on to the next aisle. He must have been looking for me or something, and because I ended up down at another aisle kind of at the other end of the store. And next thing I know, I'm in the bread aisle and he pops up there, oh, I would like to talk to you, but I guess maybe we should talk when we get outside or whatever. Because I'm at this point, he's been following me around the whole store. I'm busy trying to get my food. Hopefully he's busy trying to get his. And all this extra conversation is slowing things down, especially sometimes the stores here have lines and stuff like that. So they're trying to limit the number of people in the store. So when people are in there, lollygagging and bullshitting, instead of getting what they have to get and getting out, you're actually holding up a bunch of people outside that are waiting to get in. So anyway, I go on outside. Well, rewind just a little bit. Like in one of those conversations, he was telling me that I fascinate him and all this kind of stuff. And I asked him, well, how do you know? Because I told him, I said, you don't even know if I have teeth under here. Because one thing that's going on right now with these masks and all that stuff and people putting on all these face coverings, you never know when they take off that mask what you are going to get. And for somebody like me, for whom teeth is very important, like if somebody approaches me and they look okay, from here up or whatever, and the rest of them looks fine, but then they take off that mask and they got 2 teeth, or they got brown teeth and yellow teeth and all types of madness going on inside their mouth, that's like a big turnoff for somebody who has teeth as something that's important. Like a good dental plan is like one of the best things that a man can have, in my personal opinion, right? So anyway, he finally got out there and found me right away because I'm trying to get all my stuff in the car. And he comes over, and I had pulled my mask down because, I was the only one there in that section of the parking lot. It was hot because it's like 1,000 degrees here. And so I took my mask down, and he comes over and he's like, I told you had teeth, but all of this conversation is in Spanish, but I knew you had teeth, and I was like, yeah, I got teeth, but anyway, he ended up asking me if he could call me and exchange numbers. And so anyway, he asked me for my number. And in this day and age, I'm one of those women who do not give fake numbers and all that kind of stuff, because I've heard of situations of, if you refuse to give a guy your number, they might cuss you out or do something crazy. Or if you do give them your number and give them the wrong number, that a lot of times they'll call you right away. So to avoid any of all of that, madness, I gave the man my number. He called my phone right away, just as I figured he probably would do. So I was glad that I had given him the right number, so that wouldn't have turned out to be an issue. But then after all of that, here's the funny thing of the whole story. After all of that, following me around in the store, talking to me, wanting to get to know me, finding me in the parking lot, exchanging numbers and all that, I wanted him to, it wasn't a big deal that he didn't, but I found it fascinating that he went through all that trouble to just never call. That was just crazy. But anyway, what I want to say, I say all that to say that when you are in a grocery store and stuff like that, it may seem kind of romantic to, meet someone in the produce aisle. But it can be also a little bit creepy, depending on the way it's done. And if the man just seems like he's following you around and not really getting to the point on the first approach, but following you around the store, that can be a little bit creepy, feeling for me. And then the other thing is if he had gotten to the point or whatever, sometimes I wonder if these things, or the creepiness level of things, is contingent upon whether or not you're attracted to the guy. So if I had been more attracted to him, would this have been as creepy as it turned out to be? Probably, but then again, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those questions, but it seems romantic, in theory and in conversation, to meet somebody and, see them on the other side of the tomatoes and lock eyes and all that kind of stuff. But if the approach doesn't end up being a one-time approach, get the number, get out type of situation where it leads to you following the person around the store, that's when it gets a little weird. So anyway, I just wanted to share that story. It was kind of funny and interesting for one of my times of meeting someone in the grocery store. So has this ever happened to you? Let me know about your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy dating, everybody. Bye-bye.